Now, before I let you go, there's one thing I've been meaning to ask you. So the reproductive justice, you said there's an abortion doula. Now, I am the proud father of 2 boys. We never had a doula, but for those of you that don't know, a doula is like somebody like a midwife, I guess you could say, like a nurse practitioner who helps you through the birthing process. Now, what does an abortion doula do? How does that work?
Yeah, so a doula, like you said, is a person. It usually tends to be a woman. I guess it doesn't have to be. And the whole role of a doula is to help a woman have a baby. It's to help her, like, and to help the family and like whatever they need. There are also doulas called like the doulas that will help people die well. So if like you're and which I actually think is really important. I think death with dignity is something that's really often overlooked. And so I think having a good death and having someone to help you through that process and tend to your needs is a good thing. An abortion doula is actually someone who commented on my YouTube channel said that she was a doula and she called the abortion doula the handmaiden of death. And I think that's kind of how I look at it, because the job of an abortion doula is like when you're having your self-managed abortion, you basically have to take 2 different types of pills. The first pill that you take, again, in your home apartment, it kills the baby in you. And then the second pill makes you have really bad contractions so that you're forcing the baby out of your body. And I guess you bleed a lot. And I'm told that, it's not just blood, it's also body parts coming out of the body. And basically you spend a lot of time over a couple days, and I don't mean to be graphic, but this is like the reality of the situation. You spend a lot of time over a couple days sitting on the toilet, bleeding the baby into the toilet. And the job of the abortion doula is to sit there and to hold your hand and to comfort you and to make you a nice cup of tea, because tea is very important, I was told, on the self-managed abortion tour. And they're supposed to make you abortion playlists. I'm not kidding. This was actually told to me on the tour. And just to be there for you as you're bleeding the baby into the toilet. And then, of course, to help you over to your abortion shrine where you worship yourself following the abortion. This is a real thing. There's actually, and if people want to Google it, just Google abortion doula. And what's going to come up is an article from NPR, National Public Radio, talking about how your average abortion doula can make between $200 and $800 per abortion.
God, there's always money behind it. I mean, I think that's when we talk about, not to harp on the transgender thing, but the gender affirming care. I mean, you see the clinics popping up in the last 15 years. That ain't cheap. They're not doing it as a service. They are charging you a pretty penny. And I imagine that Aetna and United Healthcare don't cover those surgeries. Abortion doula, and then to go worship. So what is the idea behind worshiping? Because every religious dogma, even if it's absent of God, there's some form of sacrament here. What is the ideology behind that? What are you worshiping?
When I say you're worshiping yourself, that's literally what I mean. And people, again, can go on my Substack, which is Carlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. You can actually see pictures of the abortion shrine. And one of the things that they had on the abortion shrine is this kind of like wooden carving of a woman with her hands over her eyes. And on the wooden carving, it says, taking care of yourself, like an act of love towards yourself is the greatest revolution. So when I say they're worshiping themselves, I quite literally do mean this is like, because some people have said to me, they're like, Carlyn, are you sure this wasn't a shrine to kind of pray for the soul of the baby, kind of like they do in Japan when they have an abortion? No, that's not what it is. There was nothing indicating a baby in anything that they had on this shrine. In fact, you're not going to believe this. One of the things that they literally had on the abortion shrine was a fertility goddess.
What?
I swear to God.
How does that? So the fertility goddess, to whom native peoples for thousands of years have prayed throughout various cultures to have a child. What does that have to do with the act of terminating a pregnancy?
Your guess is as good as mine, Eric, but I do find, and again, like I'm very spiritualist in my belief. I have all the crystals on my desk that they had on the abortion shrine, and so I'm feeling a little miffed, to be quite honest, that my faith and my spirituality is being bastardized on the altar of abortion for this death cult. I mean, because that is what it is, and like I said, I am actually pro-life. But pro-choice. I do believe that, we should have the right to choose up to 3 months with exceptions for rape, incest, life of the mother. I'm in favor of very sensible compromise. But going on this abortion tour actually made me more pro-life, because it was so disgusting and it was so beyond anything that I think should be happening. And this whole idea of celebrating it, and they're wearing t-shirts with the names of the abortion pills and they're shouting their abortions. And it's just like, it's way too much.
It's a death cult.
It is a death cult. I really do believe that. Yeah.
No, but it's all about me. It's all about gratitude and gratification and look at me, look how stunning and brave I am. It's all about dopamine addiction. We are just a nation, maybe a world even, of affirmation addicts. Affirm me. If you're strong in your beliefs, you don't need anybody to affirm you. And I think that's one of the big pushbacks, the reason we're seeing pushback to everything going on with everything from the abortion cults to the transgender is these movements constantly demanding affirmation. You want to believe the way you believe it, but stay true to your beliefs and don't ask me to credit your beliefs in any way. That's where people get upset, is this constant need for affirmation.